We have a whole bunch of awesome topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our kind of a review of the World Cup first round of games almost. Tomorrow's the next day. We're recording this on the 18th, so we kind of do this past week we didn't do a bi-weekly one, but this because we were totally busy this past weekend, but this week we should be able to do that. So yeah, we're going to cover all from the first game all the way to today's last game, which was England versus Tunisia. And then we're also going to talk about the Angels for a little bit, and then we have a couple of 2-minute minors, and then we're done. That's it.
Getting it out.
Yes. Just like Square Enix. No sports person is going to get that reference, but it's okay. Let's get into it. Let's go into the opening game. We had Russia versus Saudi Arabia, which is somewhat of a close game all the way up until the third. No wait, no.
What game are you watching?
Like in the sense of like it was like 1-0, and then it wasn't. They didn't score until.
Then it was 2-0, and then it was 3-0,
yeah,
and then it was 4-0.
Yeah. I mean, I still wasn't impressed by Russia. Unfortunately, I think Saudi Arabia is just like. I don't. It's they ever have a participation award for this World Cup, so
I guess
they're probably gonna be like one of the worst teams, and probably maybe might score a goal. The only goal I think we'll see them score will be against Egypt.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So it was quick and swift at the very end because they scored 2 extra time goals at the end. So I was like. All right. I mean, you could have just had it at 2-0. I would have been like, oh, at least they tried. But like 5-0, I'm like, oh god, man, why do we have them here in a way? But
yeah, I know. It was just, it was definitely not the game that you. Well, I don't know. Going into it, it was definitely not the game that everyone wanted to kick off the World Cup with. The Saudi Arabia and Russia were the 2 lowest ranked teams, at least in the however much credibility you want to give to the FIFA rankings. They are the 2 lowest ranked teams going into the World Cup, so no one was really looking forward to this. But I didn't really feel it was a close match. There was no point where I really felt that Saudi Arabia were really in it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think I had this game as a draw, but it ended because I didn't trust Russia either.
Yeah.
But, they put 5 on them. You can't really measure Russia against this game either because they're not playing. They played the worst team in their group. So
yeah, well, the worst team in general.
Yeah.
So, moving on, we're gonna see we have Egypt and Uruguay. Uruguay won at the very end, basically with a 1-0 without a Salah. Egypt, which is kind of impressive. That makes me have a little bit more faith. If they have that second element of Salah in there, I don't know if it would have been a big factor in this game, as big of a factor as a lot of people think, but I think it would have helped them offensively to. Maybe even try to have gotten like a penalty shot or a set piece kind of goal.
Yeah, that
would have set it up. I think Salah would have helped with that sense. But I think Uruguay should have been disappointed with the result as well, with only a 1-0 victory. I think they should have probably had like 1 or 2 more in them.
I definitely think that they know they can play better. It was good that they kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, goal difference.
Yeah. But I mean, they only got the 1 goal, obviously. As far as Salah missing, I guess the way that the game ended up playing out, it might have his presence might have impacted. They might have squeezed a draw, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to matter for the rest of the group. I don't think that Salah's presence is going to I feel like Egypt, as it is now, can already beat Russia and Saudi Arabia. So
yeah,
I don't know that it really matters anymore.
I felt like maybe if they wanted to be like the first place team in this group to be the surprise first place team, I think this would have been the game to done it. But I think it's also first game jitters as well. So I think for Uruguay as well, I think they're going to get better and better as the tournament rolls on.
Yeah.
Then we got the group. This was Group B with Iran and Morocco playing first.
Yeah.
With Iran. I don't know how. I was just frustrated throughout this whole game. I actually watched front the cover or front the back. I was just Morocco was fouled pretty well, and then also they just they weren't taking as many chances, or they just weren't successful in their chances. And Iran all they needed was that 1 set piece, which got them over.
It was an own goal, right? Ended up being an own goal.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think they got. Yeah, it was an own goal, but it would have been. I think he would if he wasn't even in that spot. I think that Iran, the guy was right behind him, so he probably would have put it in regardless. It's just unfortunate because like Morocco is my like dark horse pick in this tournament, and I'm hoping like obviously they get a good result against Portugal, and hopefully they get a draw against Spain. But I mean, I'm kind of like disappointed. I don't know.
I think it's a really big 3 points for Iran. It was. I think this was probably the most important game for both of these teams.
Yeah.
With Portugal and Spain being in the other group. So now for Iran, if they can squeak a draw against either Spain or Portugal, then they have an off chance anyway of ending up in that number 2 seed. So I think it was good for them. Obviously, really, I feel for the Moroccan defender that ended up with the own goal. That sucks.
Yeah,
hopefully, because really, that own goal probably already eliminated them.
Yeah.
So
we'll see when they play Portugal, but I don't know which team they play next. I think Spain plays Iran next.
Okay.
So that gives them space because that Portugal game is going to be really important for them now. Really, like it's do or die on that one for sure now. Next, we have the second game of that group, and that was Portugal it was really Cristiano Ronaldo versus Spain, but it was Portugal versus Spain, 3-3. We had a penalty in the 4th minute, and then...
Did we, though?
I mean, we did. Technically, we did.
The referee blew his whistle, but did we, though?
But Spain answered that back pretty quickly, and then...
Yeah, Diego Costa scored the first goal, I think.
And then Ronaldo had a De Gea just like... I don't know what happened. That was just not very much De Gea at all. And then Spain took the lead, and then Ronaldo was like, "I'm Ronaldo," and then
Spain will really be the team here that are kicking themselves. I felt that it was a bit of a soft penalty, but definitely a challenge that should not have been made, even to like put yourself into that situation. Spain came back from behind twice. And then, they got those 2 goals from Nacho and Diego Costa, just a couple minutes apart. And you're like, okay, Spain recovered here, 3-2. And then, of course, they give up that free kick. And Ronaldo does Ronaldo things. So, Spain, should have won this game multiple times.
Yeah.
Should have put this game away. So.
Yeah, the 2 PK mistakes definitely were big, I think. I think they were bigger than De Gea's, I think. Just more.
Yeah, maybe.
The penalty.
Sure.
I mean... Like I said, you shouldn't have.
And it was PK that gave away the foul for the free kick.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So it was both those.
I don't know. De Gea should 101 times out of 100, De Gea makes that save.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yeah.
I don't really know what happened there. Just a little lapse in concentration, I guess. And Ronaldo scoring that free kick right at the very end, like we were talking about during with Iran Morocco. Cristiano Ronaldo held the door open for maybe to his own detriment.
For the other guy.
Held the door open for Iran. So we'll see.
Yep. So moving on, we got group, C, I think this is? Yep. France and Australia. France barely won 2-1. You got a Pogba goal. No, that was an own goal, apparently.
They changed it
they changed it,
the day after, I think, or the morning after.
So, very much a close win. I think people should give Australia a lot more credit. I think they should have not underestimated Australia. I think Australia is a tough team. I think we've seen it last World Cup as well. They didn't just sit down and take it in that group that they were in last. But still, I think it's a first game jitters game for France, and I think they're going to get better as the tournament rolls on. But it's not that I wasn't too surprised, but I was. I think I would have been 2-1. Okay, that makes sense. Australia's not a little, they're not cupcakes. No way, I feel. But.
I think Australia gets a little bit short end of the stick because they don't really have to do much to qualify.
Yeah.
So no one really thinks much of them. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens the next cycle, when they're without Tim Cahill and
Jednak, I think.
Yeah.
From Aston Villa, I think he plays that.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. But I think this game, France just had a hard time finding that last pass. I feel like they were struggling in the midfield, and so that was kind of the reasoning why they couldn't get anything going forward really. Like there was not the flow that we're used to seeing. Although we said the same thing when we talked about like the France-US game in the lead up to the World Cup. This is like it just felt like France couldn't get like that last pass together.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they make adjustments.
I think it'll probably be a midfield change, if anything. Because Matuidi didn't start. I thought it was kind of weird. I feel like he should be starting. Yeah. I don't know. It depends. It depends what they're gonna do next. I think they're playing. They're in Peru and Denmark, right? Or no? It's the one before. Yeah. My bad. It's They are in what group are they in?
They must have played early because I'm pretty sure Group D I think is Argentina, Iceland, Peru, Denmark.
Oh, okay. That must have been Nigeria and Croatia then.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I think that's right. Yeah,
maybe
right.
We'll see. So moving on, we got Argentina versus Iceland, where we saw Messi. I mean, did he blow it? Okay. All right, he blew it. All right, he blew it, guys. It's confirmed. He blew it, unfortunately. Well, yeah, they had a penalty shot at the end, towards the end of the game, and unfortunately, he did not lead Argentina to a late victory.
I feel like the more this happens, where Messi misses a penalty. I remember it was last year in the Champions League against City when he missed the game that we beat them at the Etihad. He missed a penalty in that game. Joe Hart saved. Oh no, it wouldn't have been last year. Anyway, he misses. It seems like he misses the big penalties now more often than he makes them. I don't know. Kind of just a weird
psychological
wrinkle in his game where like he's missed. I really don't understand the amount of times this has happened. Why he's still the primary penalty taker.
I thought Aguero should have took that anyways.
There are probably 3 or 4 people on the field, but the statistics would show where.
I wouldn't say that because Aguero was the one that got the penalty.
Yeah.
So.
And he's the one he scored the first goal as well too.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think he usually takes the penalties for City anyways, and he's pretty accurate.
Yes.
He's pretty accurate.
Yes. So, I mean, Argentina will probably be able to recover, because they're good enough, obviously, to beat anyone in their group.
Mm-hmm.
But missing that penalty was there. I think it was Diego Maradona came out saying like, "Oh yeah, like I missed 5 penalties or whatever, like in World Cups." And I was like, "Yeah, but you won a World Cup." Like, so you can talk about all the things that you messed up on throughout your whole career, but like Messi's still chasing that.
Yeah.
Like, this is the last trophy that he doesn't have,
mm-hmm.
and I think that Argentina could really end up regretting him still being on penalty. Like that penalty could be either like they finish second and they're in trouble in the next round.
Yeah,
because they get a tough draw, or I mean they could recover from it. But
yeah,
definitely sounds Argentina should have won this game.
Agreed. Give me a sec. I'm gonna pull up. I'm just like
you're gonna look up what the next matchup's gonna be.
No. I want to look up the group still table. There we go. Just in case, so we know where we're on track. Okay, all right. So we are in.
So we had the next game was Denmark versus Peru.
Yes, Denmark versus Peru. I didn't watch the whole game. I only watched snippets of it, like live, and then I watched the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw like the goal. That's all I really remember. That was really memorable. This was kind of like one of the ones you forgot about that happened that day because everyone was talking about Messi.
Yeah, I guess the stats were leaning pretty heavily in favor of Peru. Just like looking at the game after the fact. I mean, they had more shots. They had more shots on target. They had more corners. And Peru was the team, so like you had Morocco as your dark horse. I think Peru was the team that I thought had a chance to make it a couple rounds in. This is like a really big setback for them, and they're going to have to get another result. So they had 2 draws against Argentina in qualifying. Like they're going to need another one probably in the World Cup here.
Because they got
to recover to give them a chance when they play Iceland to squeak into the knockout stages. So I was pretty disappointed for Peru that they didn't get the win here. I think that they're a better team than Denmark. Obviously, fair play to Denmark getting that goal, but I really want to see Peru bounce back.
We'll see, because they still have Australia. I would say getting a draw against France is like their best case, I feel. But and then you have to get a lot of goals against Australia to hopefully get that goal difference, just in case France beats Denmark, and you get a draw with Australia and Denmark to help them out. That's like their best case scenario at the moment.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Croatia, Nigeria finishing off. I think this is the Argentina group. You had Croatia. I think they got by. I think Nigeria wasn't just like someone that just stood there. They just like wrong place, wrong time, and what benefited Croatia was just like they played smart. I feel like they played smarter.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I think Croatia probably will be maybe the top team out of this group. If they get a good, obviously all they have is Iceland after this, and then all they have to do is play Argentina really well, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, with Argentina dropping points against Iceland, they really don't need a result against Argentina anymore. Like they can afford to lose that game.
Yeah.
And still come in worst case scenario, come in second. I think it was a very, I guess the term is just like a professional win.
Yeah.
It was like when they went out there, they were very well organized. We talked in our previews of the World Cup about how good of a midfield that team has, with like Modric and Perisic and Brozovic and all these people who are important pieces for their clubs that all play midfield together for Croatia. And it just showed. They dominated the game from the midfield. They got their goal. Their head coach brought on Brozovic so that they could push Modric forward into more of a number 10.
One thing I really noticed is like in Nigeria's first touches were they just gave the ball up really fast.
Yeah,
that was just it's just really sloppy play. That was what I think that really beat them, and then obviously Croatia just being smart.
Yeah, I think one standout for me on the Nigerian side was their goalkeeper. I do not remember his name, and I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it, but he's only 19.
Yeah, he plays.
And there was really nothing that he could have done, I think, for either of the two goals, and I think otherwise he did well on corners, like clearing the ball on corners and getting good punches and stuff like that. So I was pretty impressed with him.
Good. All right, moving on. We got the next day, which was Sunday, which was yesterday. We got Costa Rica, Serbia with a awesome free kick from Kolarov.
Something that I'm a little bit used to seeing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have Costa Rica winning this group. I think we both did, actually. Or getting out of this group. But it might not look like that way. Yeah. Because Serbia got the 3 points. Plus, they're in this group, right, with Germany, right? No, never mind. They're in Brazil.
Yeah.
Switzerland. So, Serbia just needs a good, another, probably even just a draw or a win. And then they might not even... Depends on the Switzerland, Costa Rica, and how that goes. Yeah. If that's a draw, then they're in the driver's seat for sure. Because even with the Brazil drawing, But anyways, this game was an earlier game. I just watched the highlights because it was just
it's too early.
Yeah, that was too early. I was kind of impressed. I didn't realize how other players that Serbia has. I looked at their lineup. I was like, oh, I forgot you're alive. But yeah, I think it was a good win. They just need to continue playing smart like they did this game.
Right. Yeah, I think the game against Switzerland will be really big for them if they can just play the way that they did against Costa Rica. Nice, organized defensively. I think that they should be in at least second pretty easily.
Yeah, I think all you need to do is get another set piece. Just have the ball, when you're getting a set piece, just have it to where Kolarov can just have it, hit it on his left foot, get it in.
And you're good to go. That's all you need.
Next, we got one of the biggest upsets this weekend was Germany versus Mexico. I don't know what happened in this game, man. Just the counterattacks and just what happened to the shape. And I get that Germany had I'm not too sure what the possession stats were, but I know definitely they were ahead. I'm just where was it? Where's the experience on that? On getting counterattacked. It didn't. It seemed like maybe they were too cocky or something.
I don't remember ever seeing Germany this disorganized.
Yeah.
It was like all 11 people on the field were playing a different game.
Mm.
They were playing their own little game. There was no organization. There was no communication. The Mexican midfield completely dominated the German midfield. I don't know. It's probably the worst I've ever seen Germany in recent memory.
Yeah.
And Mexico got their goal, which probably guarantees them getting through, because obviously the other two games are going to be a lot easier for them. I mean, good for them. But Germany, I think so we talked in the preview, like, there's never been, like, the people that win the World Cup, I think it was like the last 3 World Cup winners didn't make it out of the group stages of the next World Cup. And then there was another stat that I saw.
The Confederations Cup one?
Yeah, where like no one that's ever won the Confederations Cup has won the World Cup the next year. So it's looking like that might be true.
Well, I think they just need to make a couple of changes. I think what they're missing is pace, and I was really looking at their lineup. I think the not taking Sane, and like he could have came off the bench and like really disrupted the Mexican backline if they would have brought him. I'm not saying like there's nothing wrong with Royce, but I feel like Sane just brings like a different element than some of the players on that lineup.
Yeah,
that he just adds that extra energy that teams are just like, whoa, dude, slow down.
Yeah. I think that Germany can obviously, like, they could play great in their next 2 games. I kind of feel like what's going to happen here is that that Mexico will probably get maybe like a win and a draw and finish first, which will be great for them unless someone else finishes second that gets matched up with them. But I think Germany could cause problems for someone else that finishes first. I feel like Germany's going to be the best of the second place teams, and really, like, we're going to have like a really big.
I think that's worst case
round
scenario.
of 16 matchup.
I think Mexico will probably draw in the next game. So not that I think they're going to be too like hungover, but I think
too much partying from beating Germany.
I think they're just going to be too confident from like this win. Hopefully.
Okay. Hopefully.
Sorry, I'm not a Mexico fan. Then moving on, we got Brazil, Switzerland. I don't know what the hell the refs were doing in this game. I know no one's a Neymar fan. No one in the world is a Neymar fan, unless you're Brazilian. But like, the dude get like no calls, man. Just straight savage.
Yeah.
Like
everyone was just kicking him and dragging him back.
Right when Lichtsteiner was coming off, and I forgot who was coming on, and he was like, "Just foul, dude. They don't care, dude. Just kill him." I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, no, I think maybe there was a card at the very end, but that was pretty much it.
There were more fouls against Neymar in this game than any other previous. I think the previous one was Alan Shearer, like in the 80s or something like that, where he had 11. There was 11 fouls, so like Neymar had 10 fouls that were actually called against him. Like, let alone all the times where he got dragged down and like people grabbing his jersey and stuff like that. Watching some of this game, I still do sometimes feel that Neymar brings it on himself, because it was like 5 minutes into this game and this guy's already like dribbling the ball over, like doing all these, like just standing there in the middle of midfield, like doing all these fakes, trying to dribble around people, all these fancy flicks, and then like rolling on the ground when he gets fouled or whatever. So I do feel like he brings it upon himself. But this was another game, another big country that just like couldn't seem to get that last pass. They were having no problem getting to the penalty box.
Yeah.
But once they got there, just like a whole bunch of near misses.
Yeah, I think Willie really didn't have that impact for me at all. I think he got to the ball really well, but I think that might make the change having Douglas Costa out there. Maybe we'll see. I think Fernandinho might get his get the starting on. I think a lot of the teams that had those like hiccups are going to make not big changes, but enough changes to where like, okay, let's see, see if this works. But I think they'll have better combinations. They know what people are capable of in a way.
Yeah,
better. Moving on. We got the games that happened today. We got Sweden versus Korea, with Sweden having the penalty in basically what they did against Italy, and feel like organized and
took their one chance.
Yeah, took that one chance. That's it. That's all they need. And I think they're a team that like you shouldn't sleep on, in the sense of like don't get penalties, don't give up a stupid penalty, and then also don't be able to probe and like manipulate their shape to where you can score, because Korea wasn't able to do that, obviously.
Yeah. Did you hear the story? The Korean coach that came out and said that he had like in all their game practices and stuff like that, he had all of his players exchange jerseys, because he didn't believe that the Europeans could tell them apart by their face alone. So like they were all wearing different numbers and stuff like that, as like to throw off what he said was like Swedish spies or whatever.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so like in their practices, they would all wear different people's jerseys, so that like the Swedes didn't know who was who.
Oh, that's weird.
It was like a really strange story that came out after, but obviously it didn't help them.
Yeah, it did not.
Because Sweden still came out with a win. I think that's a big win for them. I think basically ends Korea's World Cup probably.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be very tough because they got Mexico they got Mexico and Germany to play. Yeah. So they're playing Germany next.
So this was the game that they needed to win.
Definitely. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But moving on, we got Belgium versus Panama, one of the powerhouse teams that actually showed up to their game. Showed up a little later than what most people probably expected.
Took them a while.
I thought like they were just the start of the game. We're just like, we're gonna score. And there's nothing you can do about it. Kevin De Bruyne, you sent me a clip on Twitter, I think, or something like that. You sent me something.
I don't remember sending you anything, but okay.
I did. Yeah, I think you did. You said like Kevin De Bruyne pass or something like that.
Oh, I just texted you. I didn't send you a clip. I was just texting.
Oh wait,
there was no video.
I thought there was a clip to it. Never mind. Anyways, moving on to that. Very much what Belgium needs to do. I think a lot of people are like, it's like mixed on this team in the sense of like that players feel like they're underdogs, but like the media thinks like, no, you guys are like the third best team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
My problem with Belgium is that I don't trust Roberto Martinez. So I feel like if Belgium is going to do anything, it's because there's leadership, like, you know, KDB and Hazard and Alderweireld and people like that are going to like take leadership on the field in the game, and not because there's like a great coach behind them. Although obviously I think Roberto Martinez is better than Wilmots was before. So
he hasn't lost since he's taken the job. So
yeah, but who have they played since he's taken the job?
Well, in a way, but I'm still like, he's organized them enough.
I understand. I think Panama, along with Saudi Arabia, for me, are like so far those are the only two teams that seem like they are out of their depth a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, this is the World Cup.
Lukaku had 2 goals in this game. One of them should have. KDB deserved the goal just for the pass that he sent into Lukaku. It was like outside of the right foot on the edge of the box, like just like perfect little bend right to Lukaku.
That's all you need.
The same sort of pass I've been watching all this last year. Just like the pass that you can't do in FIFA.
Yeah.
That sort of thing where it's just like, wow, how did he even do that?
This is cheating.
It did take Portugal. It did take Belgium a little while to get going. Like they didn't score in the first half. It was pretty dull first half.
I thought the first like 10-15 minutes though they were firing.
It looked like they were going to score in the first like 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, because they were just getting like second balls or just terrible decisions on passing and stuff.
And like Mertens opened it up.
Touches.
Mertens opened the scoring like 4 or 5 minutes after halftime with like a great volley from the corner.
Yeah,
and then KDB's pass, and then Lukaku just like destroyed the goalkeeper for the third one, and it was over. So
yeah, but I think
good showing from Belgium.
Yeah, this is when they not that they needed, but like a win that should have happened first off. And this is what other teams should be doing to their less superior opponents.
Yeah,
and I think they're probably going to win the group. Yeah. Moving on to the last game that happened today, you had Harry Kane versus Tunisia. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't just Harry Kane in that game, but it was England versus Tunisia.
Was just Harry Kane.
I mean, he the first goal was just him in the right place at the right time, in a way.
So what was the second goal?
It was a Harry Kane goal.
It was Harry Kane at the right place at the right time.
But I mean, they got the result. That's what they needed.
They did.
The first goal was, I don't know what the hell Kyle Walker was doing.
Penalty?
Yeah, I was just like, if he didn't touch them, the ball just wouldn't have went over.
It was going to go over his head, and there was like 4 English defenders. The whole back line was there, and just the one Tunisian guy, and he decides to like slap him in the face.
Yeah. And
then be like, oh, I didn't. It wasn't me. There's 50 cameras watching me, but I didn't hit him.
Yeah, I don't think that shows. I mean, it's just a bad decision. I think Kyle Walker will walk it off. And I think they'll be fine. Honestly, I I thought it was a good performance by them. They figured out how to score. That was my thing. Even though it was just set pieces, I think Sterling will have to wake up because I don't know what he had a sitter in the beginning of the game.
Oh, come on. No.
That was...
No.
Come on.
That went through 2 Tunisian guys, both of whom completely botched the clearance. So, like, he had no reason to even expect that the ball was going to make it that far. And it took a deflection off the last guy.
Anyways,
there's no...
He's used to this. I'm used to watching this on Sterling.
No, that's harsh.
I don't care.
That's really harsh.
Anyways, he should have scored.
No. And you can't... There was no one that did anything in that game besides Harry Kane. I think John Stones had a good... I think defensively they did okay. I think obviously Kyle Walker gave away the penalty. But, like, Kyle Walker's playing out of position. England are playing a back 3, and Kyle Walker's not a center back.
Yeah.
So I kind of find it weird, that decision that Gareth Southgate made. But I think going forward, like, even when Sterling came off for Marcus Rashford, like, Marcus Rashford didn't do anything either. Jesse Lingard, I think Lingard he was the best of the starters. I think he actually even had a better game than Harry Kane did. He just didn't get a goal.
Yeah.
He had a couple of, like, really close chances that just, like, someone got in front of him on a block, like, right at the last minute, or, like, tackled the ball away from him. And then obviously Harry Kane with the 2 goals coming up big for England. There was a lot of controversy when Pep Guardiola called Spurs the Harry Kane team, but in reality it turns out there are 2 Harry Kane teams. There's an international one and a domestic one. So
did them dirty.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. But yeah, let us know what you guys think with the first how the first set of games are going. We got one more day of first day games, which is tomorrow.
The last group, yeah.
Yeah, which is the last group. And then we have the next set of games, and we'll probably be talking about those.
The second round starts tomorrow as well. I think Russia plays tomorrow.
Yeah, Russia plays Egypt tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyways. So yeah.